The project experience itself opened my eyes to not only inequities that exist for me growing up in Newark, not only does it exist for local and neighboring cities such as Brooklyn, but it was also the work that I did on my project in California that helped me to see this is not only happening here, but this is a national crisis. If I were to think about policies that were in play prior to what I was studying in that very moment, I could literally look and see that redlining had occurred in this particular neighborhood. That is just one or two examples of what being a seminar and the project brought up for me in terms of true systems that exist that create barriers for Black and brown people.
Not only did I learn about the inequities that existed, I also learned about widening my horizons in terms of questioning things, something that I probably didn't as much. And knowing how to communicate that message, not from a point of, oh, you know what, I know this, so I'm so much better because I already know this, but also just having the empathy to be like, you know what, there are people who don't know about it, and I think this is my value add that I know about it, and I bring this to the table. But at the same time, just bringing it to the table is not enough. Coming up with a roadmap for the point that I make is also important. But the fact that I'm in the room means a lot, right? To be a woman of color, to be an immigrant, to be able to speak for myself, to be able to speak for many women before and after me, and and be able to bring that attitude of, you know what, I'm here and I have a point to make and I have an action item for you, and I think this could be a valuable value add, and have people hear me out.
I worked with a independent charter school in Brooklyn, and they had this really fascinating integration project where they really integrated the school community rather than just desegregated. And a lot of people were coming to them to ask them if they could expand this project and if they could export basically what they're doing. So they came to CPRL to ask us to help them figure out how to spin off this, and we ended up spinning it off into a nonprofit. In my current role, I work for a superintendent's office, so we actually supervise 41 secondary and high schools in New York City Department of Education. We have really focused our efforts on our most struggling students, so it really has been students who either have not been attending or students who need the most supports, which for us has been our special education students, our students in temporary housing, and our students who are English language learners.
I think of kind of the efforts around integrating schools. I think of that and it just fills me with so much hope, for lack of a better way of putting it, because I think it is one of those instances where you have a bunch of families who do have very prominent voices, who are willing to bring their ideas to the table, who are also willing to sit down and listen and to try to figure out collaboratively the path forward as to how we are going to stop having basically the white kid school, the black kid school, the Asian kid school, and really just bring these different groups together into our school, our community school. Like that one undercurrent, I think that's really going to be pretty impactful in really changing the face of inequity in our public schools.